The DNO application, a really important step to your solar and battery install, and something that a lot of people sort of write off as just a bit of red tape and a box that needs to be ticked. But that's not the case. It's absolutely fundamental to the success of your solar and battery project, and it's fundamental to the financial success and payback period of your investment. And if you get it wrong, or you don't really understand it, then it can come back to cost you later. In this video, I'm going to talk about what a DNO application is, how it works, and why the ability to install a solar system is first come, first serve. I'll also cover the likely outcomes that you'll get with regards to generation and export limitation. And throughout the video, I'm also going to give you 2 simple tips to consider when making important decisions to do with the design of your solar system, as well as some mistakes and traps to avoid falling into. For example, you need to be very careful to choose the right kit so that you don't shoot yourself in the foot further down the line. And you also need to be very careful to choose an installer that understands the DNO process as well. So hopefully this should be the ultimate guide to DNO applications in the UK. So to start with, what is a DNO application? Well, in short, it's a formal request to your local distribution network operator to connect a solar or battery system that has the potential to export electricity back to the grid. Now, your DNO is not the same as your electricity supplier. DNOs control and maintain the grid. A DNO application is required for any solar or battery install that has the potential to export back to the grid. It doesn't matter if you're not planning to export anything or you think you'll use all the generation on site, the DNO does not care. You need to do this application if you're installing a grid-tied inverter. Exporting to the grid changes the behavior of the local network, particularly voltage levels. So the DNO needs to assess whether the local infrastructure can safely handle your excess electricity. So what does the DNO actually care about, and what are they looking at on your application? Well, this is quite straightforward. The only thing they care about at residential scale is the rating of your inverter. That's all. They don't care how many panels you have, they don't care how big a battery you have. All they want to know is what is the rating of the inverter and what is its potential to export. And this is what we have to disclose on the application. Now, by law, you can install an inverter capacity of up to 3.68 kilowatts per phase without submitting an application to the grid. You do have to notify them that you've installed it, but you don't have to ask permission. This means that on a single phase supply, you can generate and export up to 3.68 kilowatts without needing to submit an application. On a 3-phase supply, you can install 11.04 kilowatts, but anything beyond this requires permission before you install. On a single phase 100 amp supply, you can install up to 17 kilowatts worth of inverter capacity. On a 100 amp 3-phase supply, you could probably get away with up to 50 kilowatts, but beyond 50 kilowatts, you need a special type of DNO application, which is far more complicated. If you're interested in getting an application done, please get in touch with Spirit Energy, as we offer a service where we will apply on your behalf and handle all the contact and back and forth with the DNO for £150, regardless of whether you're looking to get an install with us. Now, it is important to understand the difference between inverter capacity and export capacity. The inverter capacity refers to the maximum size inverter you're allowed to install, while the export limit is the maximum amount of electricity you're permitted to send back to the grid. In practice, this means you could be approved to install a large inverter to make the most of your solar generation, but still be restricted to exporting only a portion of that power, depending on what the local grid can safely accommodate. Now, this brings me on to the first tip I've got with regards to how you design your solar system. And that is that if you're looking for a relatively large solar or battery system, probably anything with an inverter larger than 10 kilowatts on a single phase, then you should probably be going down the route of getting a DC coupled system, not an AC coupled system. DC coupled is where you have one hybrid inverter which manages both your solar system and battery system, as opposed to having a separate inverter for both the solar and the battery. By DC coupling, you can take advantage of much larger solar and much larger battery systems at the same time. But what actually happens to the grid when you install a solar system which starts to export? Well, whenever a household exports electricity, the voltage in the local network rises. That's because for the inverter to be able to push electricity back to the grid, it has to operate at a slightly higher voltage than the grid is. Now, if lots of homes are exporting at the same time, that rise becomes even greater. The grid voltage has to stay within a safe range, specifically between 216 and 253 volts, and it's the DNO's job to make sure this happens. To check this, they model the worst case, which is your system exporting at full power on a sunny day, while other systems nearby are lightly exporting too. If the local transformers, cabling, or substations can't safely handle this export, the DNO will reduce the amount of generation or export that they approve. This does effectively mean that the national grid is first come, first served. Imagine a cul-de-sac with 10 houses fed by one cable from a transformer that branches off to each home. That local network has a limited amount of headroom for microgeneration, like solar PV and batteries, which are exporting to the grid. When the first few houses install solar, they use up some of that available capacity. As more houses add systems, there's less export headroom left, so the later on homes may be given restrictions such as an export limit or reduced allowed generation. By the time you get to the last few houses, they might only be allowed to install the minimum export allowance of 3.68 kilowatts unless they pay for local network upgrades. In the Berkshire area, which is where our office is, 8 out of 10 houses will get at least 11 or 12 kilowatts of generation, but often with an export limit of about 7 or 8 kilowatts. There are some areas where the grid is especially weak and some areas where it's very strong. Often you just need to apply and find out what you're allowed to install. Something to watch out for is that these DNOs do have a lead time. When they're really busy, they're allowed to take up to 11 weeks to get back to you. In normal periods of demand, they usually take about 6 weeks, although it does depend on the DNO and some are a lot quicker than others. Something we hear quite often is, well, my installer is able to install within a month, or something like that. Now, unless the DNO application has already been submitted, they're either lying, or worse, they're willing to install without having received permission from the DNO. And that's not a good sign if you're getting a big system. If you're getting something like a Powerwall 3, then you might be able to get away with it, as you can set the inverter rating in the software to 3.68 kilowatts, and then your installer can remotely uprate it to a higher setting in the software when the application comes back. But that's not ideal, and the application should really come back before you install anything, as on occasion there are additional charges to connect, and if you've already installed something, then you'll just have to stomach those costs or rip the system out. And no, your installer does not have a special relationship with the DNO, no matter what they tell you. Another thing we're asked is, can I apply for more capacity further down the line? And the answer to that is yes. If you're reapplying because you were originally restricted by the DNO, then something I'd say is that you've probably been restricted because the local grid is not strong enough at that moment in time to support your requested capacity. However, the grid is constantly being upgraded. Substations are refurbished, cabling is replaced, and new capacity is added to support the country's electrification. This means that a capacity restriction today might not be the case in 2 years. There's also no risk to reapplying. A DNO can't take away the capacity they've already granted and you've installed. The worst outcome is they simply confirm your original limit, and the best outcome is that you receive a higher allocation. As a guideline, if your system was installed several years ago, reapplying now is almost always worthwhile. If your install is recent, or you just applied and didn't get the capacity you asked for, then waiting a year or so is sensible, unless you know that local infrastructure work is taking place. If you are looking to get a solar installation or want to find out what you're able to install, Spirit Energy now offers a standalone DNO application service for £150, available whether you're getting a solar or battery install from us or not. We'll prepare and submit the full application on your behalf, as well as handle any follow-up from the DNO. We'll also interpret the results to you and explain what they mean for your future installation. If you're interested, just visit the link on screen or in the description and we can take it from there. This brings me on to the final tip I have if you're currently working out the best spec for your solar and battery system. Some products, like Powerwall 3 or Give Energy All-in-One 2, have inverters where the rating can be set by the software. Other systems, like Sig Energy Sig Store and Fox Evo, have fixed inverter ratings. What this means is that, say you're looking for an 8 kilowatt system, with the Sig Energy you would install an 8 kilowatt inverter. And with the Tesla you would maybe limit the inverter to 8 kilowatts or just leave it at 11 kilowatts. But if you further down the line decide to increase the system size, then with the Sig Energy you would have to install another inverter, which is very expensive. With the Powerwall you would just increase the inverter rating in the software. So that's just something to think about if you might want to increase the system capacity further down the line, as it could end up costing you more if you're restricted by your original system's design. So in conclusion, DNO applications can sound quite technical, but they are a vital step in ensuring your system operates safely and effectively, and understanding how they work helps you make more informed decisions about system sizing and future upgrades. If you'd like us to handle the DNO application for you, then please get in touch with us. Just head to our website and give us a few details, and we will apply on your behalf today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful.